was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like
forward.
a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hi, my name is Moadia, but most people know me as Mo. I am 25 years old and I'm a student, a master's student in psychology at Stellenbosch University.
Hi, my name is Cheslin. Go by the name of Solomon. I'm a hip hop artist and I'm straight from Paul.
Hi, my name is Nomza Mubtelezi. I am 20 years old. I am a third-year student at Stellenbosch studying human life sciences.
Hi, my name is Cheslin Moss. I'm a law student at UWC. I'm 24 years old.
Hi, I'm Zama. I'm a BCom law student here at Stellenbosch University. I'm 23 years old and I'm from Malmesbury.
I recently got engaged, so hey, thank you. So yeah, I feel there's no rush to getting married because for example, getting engaged is already a big step. So I felt that getting engaged in my relationship is just like a direction for where our relationship is headed, like a commitment, a promise, So we also taking time. So maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll plan our wedding and whatnot. So, but for now, we just trying to build ourselves to get to that point. So yeah, I don't think there's an ideal time. I feel like if you find the one, if you're ready, if you're mentally stable, if you're financially stable, and then,
Personally, I feel like there isn't a right age or a right career state where you should be in to get married. It's a matter of feeling connected and feeling like this is the person I want to settle with for the rest of my life. That's the right time to get married.
So for me, I feel like there is a bit of a rush because I can't progress in my relationship in certain ways until I've started the lobola conversations, had the whole marriage conversation. I mean, my partner and I, we would get married in a month from now if we could. But the thing is, there are so many social things, you have to have money, you have to, your parents must meet the family and this lobola thing, and it's just a lot.
For me, I'm engaged now for about 2 years. And me and my woman, we still stick together, still planning. Some of my peeps ask me, it says, when is the right time? Because you engaged for so long now, but as I can say about marriage and at what age you should get married to, there's no age. Because my grandfather, my granddad, they got married. My grandma was 14 years old. My grandfather was 17 years old. And at that time, life was tough for them to grow up. They grow up in poverty, live on farms. They had a boss, the white man who was the boss, and they are the farm workers. They have to work to get a home. So at that time, they have to leave the parents' home because there were no schools at that time. Schools were far. There were no schools, I'm just saying. But for they to get married at that time, it's surprisingly for me to see they had to get this still. Wow.
Yeah, that's something.
So do you think it was more real back then than what it is now?
Yeah, I can say love was more real back in the days because let me tell you.
And it lasted.
Let me tell you, back in the days, people used to spend family times to get it today.
It also depends on the context and the time because if you look at where we are now and the 14-year-olds now, your grandparents were not forced, but they were kind of forced. They didn't have a choice but to move out and get someone and get married and have children because they had to work and they couldn't go to school and stuff. But nowadays, so would that be would you think that is love or infatuation? Because they still together and I'm sure they've learned to love each other and maybe they were in love at that stage. So does that mean that's infatuation? Because kids nowadays, they also speak of I love you and whatnot at the age of 14 and 15 and they are the millennials or the children of the millennials or whatever you call the Generation Z. So like, I just feel like infatuation is temporary feelings. So that's what infatuation means. So like, I think if the feelings last, then it's deeper than infatuation then, because like, what if people actually do meet their soulmates, or like the person that they feel like they want to spend the rest of their lives with at 14? Do you know what I mean? Because it's possible. We've seen it like decades ago. Your parents, your grandparents could find each other, and you know, if that makes sense, and they're still together. So I think it's good for like the 14-year-old today to actually like experience love, or like experience those kind of things, because like the social media, there's a lot of things exposing them to a lot of different things, but there also comes a lot of baggage and negativity, if that makes sense.
I personally feel like I prefer the love that I have now, or the love that I'm allowed to have now, than what I would have been allowed to have back when my parents, grandparents were in the same context, because women have way more agency now. Like, had I been alive before like a few years ago, had I been alive, like in my parents' time, like I wouldn't have been afforded that opportunity to say, oh, I love this person. They would have been like, okay, there's a guy, there's the lobola, go have kids. Like, you don't, you know? So I also feel like it's weird for us to be like, oh, but the love that kids have now isn't real. Because I feel like it is more real, because we have more, like being an individual is more emphasized than it ever used to be. So it's like you trust yourself more. You're not just listening to what your parents say, and it's dangerous, but it's also liberating.
It has a bit of danger when you do it initially. There's that risk of breaking your heart, you know, but you still do it.
But that's why they call it love, though. You know, you have to, in anything in life, I feel like there is that risk you have to take. So as to see, not always expect the better or the best out of it, but to have that risk of, okay, maybe things can go south, you know. Maybe you never know what's ahead. But I feel like when you have the guts to take that risk, and just to be willing to be like able to spend that time and that commitment towards each other, that's maybe, because I mean, like, it won't ever like just be sunshine and roses every day of your lives. It's those times that it's raining and storming that you have to, you know, hold it tight and tell her like, oh,
I love the person more.
yes. It's because if you stay through it like the storms, then the sunny days will even feel much better, because you know what it is to survive a storm together, instead of just giving up. Because nowadays people say they want that true love, they want that, but when times get tough,
Are they protecting your peace?
divorce, you know? I'm starting low and now
It's literally about, everyone on social media is like, protect your peace. And I mean, protecting your peace is a beautiful thing, but like, try. Try.
Yeah. And I think that's the risk he's talking about, like that was taken back in the day. That's just that risk of, man, like, I don't know what to say it, but me, I'm gonna marry this person, I'm gonna stay with this person no matter what.
I've always really wanted family life. I've always wanted to have kids. I always joke with my friends, I want to be a soccer mom. I want to drive that Merc Kumbi. So in my previous relationships, I've always been with people who are like, don't really want kids, don't really like kids, whatever. But now for the first time, I'm with someone who literally wants the exact same thing as me. And for me, that is a moment in which I felt like I could actually spend the rest of my life with this person, because we want the same things. And it's not like we spoke about it beforehand. It's just like, I found you like this already. So it's like, I don't have to compromise, you don't have to compromise. So it's just a lot about vision and what you want in life. But also that connection you speak of, like something just like a little bit magical that you can't really explain. No, I think like the most magical things in life are children, like birth, creation of life, and then love, like, because you can't really explain it. So
the moment you will feel it is the moment when you're arguing with each other, and just a moment away you forgive each other. That is the moment you should know we are meant to be, because you must be quick to forgive each other. I think that is the moment when you realize, yo, this is the person I should be, because why? No matter what you do, there's a moment of forgiveness.
Yeah, it is like the honeymoon phase thing to say that like it's a feeling and it's magic and whatever, but that choice is difficult. That choice is difficult, and maybe that's what you said is like wrong with our generation, maybe that we don't have that like commitment and that level of perseverance to like stick through the hard stuff. So maybe that's why we might think that it's not as real as it used to be.
But I like what you said about like, you know, the agency, because, you know, patriarchy was so real back then, and like the gender roles, like women couldn't like do anything. Because when you said that, I was thinking about, I like get a flashback of my own life. I'm like, oh shit, because I grew up in a colored community, but my dad was Muslim, but he died before I was born. So as a result, I grew up as like in a Christian household. But if that didn't happen, I was gonna grow up as a Muslim, and I was thinking, oh wow, I was probably gonna have an arranged marriage, and how was I gonna handle that? And like, do you know what I mean? And that still happens. People still get arranged marriages, and they don't have agency and choice. So like, as much as love is a choice and everything is so beautiful, but like the people that are going through like so many things, and there's a side note, but on the news yesterday, I was seeing in like in the Eastern Cape and in Gauteng and in Limpopo, those are the 3 provinces where like child marriages were still a thing, where children are getting forced to get married, and even in India. So like, as much as love is beautiful, and there's this, we speaking about the ideal time to get married, but like, you know, marriages are happening against people's walls, like at this point in time. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's obviously not the ideal time for those people. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought like it's important to reflect on that as well, you know.
We aren't so strict based upon our societal norms that we have to like get married like by force, you know. We have the choice to actually say, okay, nice, I want to spend the rest of my life because of this person, because of this, because I met you, because I see a lot of things that I actually, you know, see in myself.
It feels like a rush, but you also want to take your time to know that person and all of that. But I feel like my parents pressure me like unwillingly into making sure that like we get there soon, because I still want to have kids and like, you know.
I clearly don't have much experience as other people who are engaged and are experiencing love. It must be nice. So, but like from the little I do know, it's like, for me, if I'm able to be with you through your worst moments, I feel like that's when I know. It's like, when you get so angry at a person, but you can't go to sleep because you're angry at that person, so you need to speak to them, that's like when you know it's like, this is the one. This is the person I'm meant to be with personally. So it's just like, it's a feeling. It's not a, magical connection. It's not a star night and like fireworks. It's just literally like that feeling when you're alone and you're sitting and you're like, damn, this person. That's for me is like when you know.
My dream in life is to become the first hip hop artist that spreading the word of God straight from the word unto his people.
My dream is to break generational curses and help heal intergenerational trauma. So in a nutshell, my dream is mental emancipation.
My dream is social and economic freedom for the oppressed race.
My dream is to see my kids and my grandkids not suffer from generational trauma and to live a life full of them where they can be themselves as black young kids.
My dream is to feel safe, heard, and liberated in the post-apartheid South Africa that hasn't granted me the liberation that I truly feel I deserve, and even if it means that I will have to take that and grant that to myself.
Yeah, Z, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.